Show us your tips. Weekend preview time. Daggy and Beaver with you to look towards Caulfield and Rosehill. Beaver is on the quick backup from a Christmas party. How are you travelling this morning, mate?
Mate, good as gold. Firing on all cylinders as per normal, mate. So ready to go and ready to launch into it.
And another juicy day out on Wednesday there?
Yeah, another good day. Can't complain. It keeps rolling on for the boys.
Had a good crack at one of your Queensland ones there and beat the short price favourite, which was good. Can't remember what it was.
Yeah, pretty happy about that, weren't you?
But good to me. So, hey, I'll buy you a beer on Sunday night, eh?
Perfect, mate. What was that, $6 or something?
$6, maybe better.
Yeah.
Whatever it was, I think in the last. And some nice results throughout the afternoon, all of which escape me right now.
Yes.
May as well get started on Caulfield then, eh?
Sounds like a plan.
Where the official, I guess, curtain comes down on the Spring Carnival at Caulfield, where the track is good and the weather should be okay. Some rain later in the day, but I've given up listening to the Melbourne Weather Bureau over the last month, so see what that brings, but treating it as a good track. Rail true, 2 metres, where are we? 2 metres, is it? Doesn't matter, it'll be the same, it's Caulfield to be right. It is true. We kick off with the 2-year-olds though. First start of the day is 1,000 metres Merson Cooper Stakes. What do you like in the first? Yeah,
tricky little affair here. Probably the Cummings horses, Remedies and Cylinder hold the key here.
Mm-hmm.
I was trying to line them up and try and get a good feel for how this might play out. I thought the draw of Cylinder was good from gate one. I was just a bit worried that it might get too far back and get buried back on the inside if it got out. I liked the Sydney run. For that reason, I went for Remedies. I think it'll jump and run from gate 10. It'll take up the running and might just get the break on the bend and be hard to run down.
Yeah, I've gone with Remedies. Should trip right across this field and take up the running, as you said. First leader at Caulfield is generally a nice recipe to at least be in the finish. So you're getting a big winner last start. Did it pretty comfortably. Everything in its favour. I'm going to stick with Remedies. I'm not quite sure of how well that Newcastle form ever stacks up coming out of that race, but sticking with Remedies, not overthinking this. I think the favourite's a good way to start the day. On an interesting day, for lack of a better term, the Sandown Cup over the 3,200 metres is up next. A listed race. Does anything get you excited here?
Wow, God, it's hardly a cup. But anyway, there's 8 horses in these and they're all no good. So for the want of having to pick something, I've gone for Gin Martini. I've just gone for the Sydney form, which I think was okay. But yeah, this is an ordinary affair, and I can't get excited at all.
I wanted to find Gin Martini, but it just stopped like shot behind King Frankel there last time. I've got protection money on top because it's $10. Did finish closest to the winner in the White Marlin race. Beat everything else home. Should take up close enough to the pace actually from there. Under Mickey D, who could be in for a good day. So on top at $10. Hate the race. Don't even know what this race is anymore. Race 3, 1,000 metre Doveton Stakes, another black type race here. Another interesting race, perhaps the most interesting runner on the cards, Bruckner off the long spell. The concern I have, of a nice win too actually, in a trial, but I'm sticking with Jigsaw here, who showed good pace and will take a lot of these out of their comfort zone. There's a lot of pace in this race, but it'll just burn across from that gate. Put the foot down if it repeats what it did at Cranbourne. I don't think there's going to be any shying away from trying to do the same thing. It's going to be very hard to beat. Back to its best last time. I like Daniel Moore on it. And quite a few of these aren't necessarily line chasers under pressure. So with Jigsaw, scared of Bruckner, who probably is the best horse, Beaver.
Yeah, couldn't agree with you more there. I thought the same thing. I like the way Jigsaw resumed last start. Put pay to him pretty comfortably and was still going well on the line. Same distance. Goes well second up, hasn't been out of a placing second up. Again, the 10's probably good. It can speed across and be the one to run down.
Yep, and that's about it for that race. The listed Twilight Glow is next, 1,400 metres for the 3-year-old fillies. This is a good little race. I obviously I think great number 2 Grey River's the obvious, but I was looking at 2 at a price here, and they're tied together. Get Up Girl is both runs to date have been good. Went to Cup Week there and finished well. Behind Magic Time, comes back here, and I think the other chance is the horse that beat on debut, who's come out and won by 8 lengths or something next time, 4 lengths. The Unicorn, who will take up the running again at Caulfield. Those 2 are both each way price, and I think I'm going to back both of them and hopefully have a nice result. Plenty of upside, but a few of these do have upside. Sticking with those 2 at a nice price. Beaver, yourself?
Yeah, look, I've gone for the Unicorn. I'm just hoping Grey River and the Unicorn don't carve each other up. They're both drawn 10 and 12, and they'll both come across. I'm hoping Grey River gives up and lets Unicorn go across, or Unicorn pops in behind. But I've gone for the Unicorn. I think there's plenty of upside there. Knew it if he gets to the front, rates him well. And yeah, really like the way it improved at its second up run. I think there's a little bit more improvement there. And I think someone like Nate Coney, it'll chase hard to the line if they go too quick, and could get the sitting shot from the draw.
Race 5 is the 1400 metres weight for age Group 3 Kevin Heffernan Stakes. Does this just look like the perfect race for Norwegian Bliss to head to black tie?
It looks like it, doesn't it? There was a lot to like about its first up run. Didn't have a lot of luck in running, was caught wide, but yeah, powered to the line under pressure there. So it was a real nice win. It didn't look like it was going to win, and then bang, it was just too good a horse. Look, they brought it down here, gets the right draw here, gate 2, the extra 200, and looks the one to beat.
Yeah, I think everything's perfect. It's the right track to head to Melbourne, the right jockey, right draw, and a nice horse. And meets a field that, apart from the second favourite, nothing's going any good. So perfect setup here, and pretty keen. It's going to be one of the hardest to beat on the whole day, actually. Nice easy bet for me to have. The 6 is the Group 3 1800 metres Eclipse Stakes this time, and less clear here. I'm going to stick with French Emperor. I think it gets a perfect run here under Paddy Maloney. A few of these on paces aren't necessarily firing, and this gets a great setup. I'm going to have something on it at the each way price, and I'm going to have something on Montaigne, who has got a new lease on life over in Adelaide. A couple of nice wins its last 2. Should sit alongside French Emperor in the run just off the pace, and could give you a nice sight here in a race where the supposed best horses aren't necessarily in the greatest of form. All that being said, I didn't understand the ride of Grand Slam first up, and I think Craig Williams will take it straight to the front and give you a decent sight. But you're going to expect the 2, fresher blood in this race. What are your thoughts?
No, I've gone for Keats.
I
think Keats might take it up. Hopefully, here it's just love the way it's controlled the race at Mornington last start, and was a nice, easy, comfortable win. And prior to that, was within 2 lengths of White Marlin at Caulfield, and won prior to that pretty comfortably at Moonee Valley. It's flying at the moment. It's a horse on the way up, and I think it can run well with Froggy Newitt aboard again, controlling some pace. And yeah, you're right, French Emperor is flying, and gets the right setup here to finish over the top if they can't run it out.
Beautiful. The 7th is the feature, the Group 2 2400 metres Zipping Classic. Again, not a lot classic about this race. I'm going to stick with Desert Icon, actually, after going up and down this field. I think it can go back to getting a soft control of this race. There's not a heap of pace here. Passan might roll forward with it, but Craig Williams might take this forward. Has done some decent stuff before. Had the 2 runs at the distance now, and its best runs have been when it's had a soft lead. I think it gets it here and can give you a sight. From Luntz, he's obviously scared with Blake Shin going on there, but I think they're the 2 obvious now with the favourite coming out. Do you have any better thoughts on this?
I'm just a bit confused. Why is the Sandown Cup and the Zipping Classic run on the same day, which would have the same horses?
Because it's what they've done forever.
Has that been done before?
Yeah, they used to. Yeah, they used to. When this actually used to be at Sandown, they used to do it because
that's right.
Used to have, but it was the same thing. You used to get like your Who Shot the Barmans and Americanes and split between the 2 races. I don't quite understand, and I think this is suffering a bit because it's been pushed back to Crowbar, Eden, Bendigo. What is it, Ballarat and Bendigo and whatever else the last few weeks. You're right, because probably 4 of these horses you'd give a chance to over 3,200 metres, wouldn't you?
And vice versa.
Yeah.
Yep. Anyway, that's not my selection. It just I was a bit perplexed. I've gone for Lunacies. I think its form's the best out of these. It was a good second last start behind Solcombe and not far off them, although back in the field a little bit in the Geelong Cup. So Lunacy's on top for me.
Yep, fair enough. The other feature is the Sandown Guineas. Another Sandown feature at Caulfield for good measure. Group 2 for 3-year-olds. Good little race though, Beaver. Anything jump out at you?
Not a lot jumps out at me here, mate. It's an open field. It's a tricky field. I just went looking for a bit of value here. I put Sandpaper on top. I thought he could run well. It's been roundabout in the last couple of runs, not too far off them. Finished off quite okay last start at Flemington. Hopefully it can run well in this. But yeah, this is an open race with plenty of chances. You could have 5 picks here and not find a placing.
Well, I've gone the other blue colours, actually. Similar thoughts, but will be close to the pace. Atmosphere will roll forward under Blake Shin. It's been a pretty good recipe for success the last 6 weeks or so. It's a $14 price. It's you're going to get like I said, Blake Shin ride up on the pace from a strong stable there. And the horse is going quite well. Just grabbed late last time out. And I'm going to spec a couple at a price. Marxist looks to be doing some good stuff and it's 40s. And Holy Man's a little bit unlucky last time out, but I think it's a horse of ability. Beaten as a short price favourite. Comes to town and double figures again. The more I looked at this, the more I was looking for the fresh blood and something at a price. Agree with your thoughts on Sandpaper as well. We wrap the day up with the Summoned, where we're going to wrap the day up hopefully with a winner in the forms of number 8 Roots. Horse is flying, should be unbeaten this prep. Another winnable mares race for it. I like Mickey D going on. Not too much of a drop-off losing J-Mac there, but I think it just wins. Flying from Mac and Cheese, who hit the line well last time. Bits and pieces, but not going to overthink this one, Beaver.
Yeah, I was the same. I kind of went to overthink it and I went, no, look, Roots looks like the horse to beat here. Gate 6 looks to get the right run in transit here, certainly suited by the mile and pretty hard to go past. I thought the safe bet was Torregine. Thought it ran well previously, last 2 runs, and really liked the way it stuck on last start at Flemington. I thought it was a nice win and went away from him pretty easily. So certainly the main danger.
I wasn't sure about that bush race, but it won pretty well, and this is just a mares race, so
it is.
No issue here. Do you want to give us for progretracing.com.au your quaddie?
My quaddie, starting in race 6, I've gone number 1, Grand Slam, number 6, Keats, number 9, French Emperor, and number 7, Montaigne. In the Zipping Classic, I've gone number 1, Vow and Declare, number 4, Persan, number 6, Kukaracha, and number 9, Lunacies. In the third leg, the Sandown Guineas, I've gone number 2, Sandpaper, number 3, Fortune Teller, number 4, Shruken, number 5, Atmosphere, and number 1, King's Consort. And to finish the day, I've gone number 5, Mac and Cheese, number 7, Torregine, and number 8, Roots.
Beautiful. And your best and value on the card?
My best bet comes up in race 5, number 8, Norwegian Bliss. I think it'll be hard to beat. And my value bet comes up in race 6, number 6, Keats.
Beautiful. I'm going to make my best race 9, number 8, Roots. But I also think Norwegian Bliss is very hard to beat, as is the favourite in the first. And my value race 8, number 5, Atmosphere. As we head up to... Well, I've just got to quickly mention progretracing.com.au. Check them out for everything going on there. Free tips from us twice a week, as well as the shows. Sign up to the mailing list. Leave us some feedback on YouTube, Spotify, and socials as well. Barossa Boy actually wrote in just to point out. He mentioned that we both fell into Saturn Star a mile up to 1600 on Wednesday. What we didn't mention is it did have the Run Melbourne Cup day with the 1400 metres where it was a non-runner, which ticked it over. That all being said, it went like a busted, so happy to cop the flack on that because it went no good. But leave some feedback. Leave us your best and value as well. We need all the help we can get sometimes. And especially on this card here where we head to Rosehill. What is this card, Beaver?
Good question, mate. I don't even know how to describe it, but I've had some difficult days trying to find winners, and this looks probably up there with one of those.
I spent more time than I generally do on this morning, which is largely why we're doing this via Zoom. But anyway, let's see what answers we came up with. The rail is in the true. We are on a good track, and not a lot of water's gone on the track. It's a hot day today. Generally, I'm treating rail true Rosehill, but this could get to fast, and a bit scared it may be up the inside. So we'll keep an eye on all of that, unless they dump a bunch of water on it this afternoon. We kick off again with the babies over the 1100 metres. Anything you like here?
No.
Perfect.
But
Okay.
I'm probably going to say that before a lot of races here today.
Yeah.
Look, I settled on number 4, Disneck. It was 8th in its first start, but that was behind Barber, who I think's got a bit of ability. It was only 3 lengths off them there. It did trial well prior to that. It was a solid enough run. I think you could probably figure in the finish with some natural improvement.
I'll spec Sense of Honour at the price. Showed some nice pace in a trial. It was after the scratchings, that price is sort of disappeared, but didn't necessarily like a lot else here. Zuccarette did trial well enough, but Apprentice on, I don't know what opinion they have there, and I've lost the rest of my tips there. So number 7, a bit of a spec, but no interest really to start the day there, which again may be the story of this card. 2,000 metre midway, does this do much for you?
Gets worse, which was, I never thought it could, but it does here. Nothing excites me here. I'd be looking a bit of value here. I just went number 7, Loving Silla. Wasn't a bad run last start, around the $10 mark. There's no way I can fall into Colour Sergeant at 5 to 4. With 59 kilos on its back, it is J-Mac. So that's how I sort of landed. But tough.
Loving Silla's also win at Kembla, I noticed. So if it goes there, it might be hard to beat, actually. Colour Sergeant's ready and does get J-Mac, but couldn't imagine myself taking $2, whatever it is, $2.10, $2.20 at all. I'm hoping we get better there. He should be ready, but look, Jack Duggan's got I think maybe the pennies drop, has bolted in twice now and is ready to come to town, but not necessarily one that finds city winners off those provincial sort of runs, but could well be ready. Don't like the race. Let's move on. I don't like the highway any better. 1,100 metres, highways, race 3. Anything jumping here?
Yeah, I've gone for Miss Kirribilli. It's been ultra consistent of recent. It's had 5 career starts and never been out of the placing. Trialled well before finishing second in one of these type of races last start, and their length off them will jump, will get on pace, 1.5 kilo claim. Expect it to run well.
Race 4, 1,800 metre, benchmark 78, which this became a little bit tricky the more I went through it. I've ended up with the Mar and Eustace horse on top, though. I like the resumption of Worthily here. Crossed the line next to French Emperor, resuming over the Carnival. At a mile, gets straight up to 1,800 metres. Mixed draw, and this is a midweek race at best. I think can give you a nice sight. From Floating, who he does come to town at the right time to hit a benchmark 78. He's flying. Now drifting in the market. I think if we get around the $4 mark is a bet too, but maybe the up-and-comer in a race lacking any up-and-comers. Any thoughts?
Yeah, I thought Floating might have a little bit of ability. 3 starts back was a really impressive win at Newcastle, sprouted wings. Then probably wasn't as suited the next start at Newcastle, no pace, and now got out to the mile and was really dominant last start. I think it can continue on that trajectory, and 1,800 I think's suits it even more. So on top pick for me, floating.
Beautiful. The fifth is 1100 metre benchmark 78. Where I've settled on Liberty Sun here. I think it's going really well. Gets the right map for Josh Parr to have the right run here around the $10 mark, and a race of either wet trackers or horses I'm not really wanting to, jump right into. I think it's a horse that's actually going well and never been one of mine, so for me to find it maybe tells you something. From Perinaway, who they've engaged J-Mac first up. Trials were nice, and fresh is best for it, I'm starting to think. Real dry track, maybe not what I'm after with it. But they're the two I'll look at this stage in another tricky race.
Yeah, tricky race here. I've gone for Monte Ditto at about the $11, $12 mark. Had two nice trials in this time in, won both of them, and then when it resumed, it was only 2 lengths behind Mars Mission, which wasn't a bad resumption over the 1100 metres. So it stays at that 1100. Gate 6 is okay, McAvoy aboard, and thought it presented a little bit of value.
The sixth is the Country Classic over the 2,000 metres for the 4-year-olds and up at a set weights. And, well, tricky business, but I've ended up finding the two with the Metro form here and maybe made myself a bit keener on them than I should. But Dream Runner did beat some decent horses in the Little Dance last time out. Maybe had some advantages up the inside there. But it was a nice enough win, a bit of a claim here, and you're getting around you probably get around $5 on the day. Does look a little bit obvious the more I went through this. From the Bush, who is building to something, but I do need to see more from it. But around the $12 there, the two with the key Metro form. And I thought it dropped away a little bit after that. Point Counterpoint next best. Anything for you?
Yeah, again, another pretty tricky affair. I settled on one down in the weights, number 17, Proust. Had 3 really nice runs in the bush before the Turry Cup. Wasn't disgraced, and that was a decent race won by Military Mission that has decent city form. I thought it stuck on okay in that race. Again here, I think this is probably a weaker affair, and they put it on the quick backup, which was interesting. So I thought I'd put it on top around the double figure odds.
Cool. The quaddie kicks off with the listed Sand and Soil Cup. There you go, there's a name for you. Over the 2,000 metres again, where, again, not leaving me with a lot here. I did end up finding Long Villiers on top. I thought the Australian debut was quite nice. A tick around Waller-style resumption to get ready for this. Booking a J-Max suggests it is their top seed. Not excited about the price right now, but might be the horse to beat. We'll see how the track's playing throughout by the time we get this stage anyway. Alcyone and Pale King both get the right runs here. Pale King's coming off some soft stuff, and somehow they've booked Ben Looker, but he's $16 next best, and Alcyone, as mentioned. Dry track the key to probably both of those. What do you find here?
Yeah, I went for Long Villas as well. I just thought its overseas form looked good enough to run well in this. Thought it was quite nice. First up, got back and finished off really nicely in the race won by Ellsberg. This is not a high quality race, and the step out to the 2000 gate 16 just needs to get there might be a couple of scratchings, hopefully it just gets a bit of cover there. J-Mac aboard. I think, clear on top.
Beautiful. The listed Group 3 Festival Stakes is up next over the 1,500 metres. What do you like here?
Yeah, tricky little race this. I narrowed it down to 2. I had number 4 Skyman and Coal Crusher were my 2 picks. I've put Skyman just on top. Again, the J-Mac Waller combination around the $10 mark. I think that's pretty good. Finished 7th in the race won by Valana up at Newcastle. That was a good quality race. 10th on the turn, got home okay. I think he can run home well in this, and Coal Crusher the hardest to run down.
I've got Coal Crusher on top. When he does find form, he tends to hold it. Gets a comfy enough lead here and can run these into the ground, I think. especially if the rail is the place to be. I'm going to give you a great side around the $6 price there. Sunshine Rising is trialling quite well, but is a 9-year-old, 8 or 9-year-old resuming from Shartin, but both trials were nice. And Cisco Bay is going well, next best. Tongue Tie going on Jojo Was a Man was the other horse I went looking for, and is $23. I'll have something on it. Just its best is better than what it showed at Newcastle. So forgiving that, assume they found an issue there with that happening. Good little race. The listed 1100 metre Starlight Stakes is up next, where I want to be able to see them running on for the two I've got on top here. But Naj Marty is a dry track sprinter. You want to see it. We want to see them swooping by this stage, but gets the right setup and right race to resume here. Did some great stuff last prep. And look, Dragonstone gets a quick backup. Was good through the line with the blinkers off last week. Again, it might just repeat that and flash home once more, but I think they're the two. Foxfighter always runs well here. What do you find?
Same as you. I thought they were the two to beat, Najmarty and Dragonstone. Just slightly going for Najmarty over Dragonstone, but yeah, you want to see them running on. And if they are, these two will finish over the top of these.
Cool. The benchmark 78 1400 metres wraps us up. Anything here?
Yeah, I've gone for Democracy Manifest again. Want to be able to see him running on here. I am slightly concerned by the draw and the weight, but they are, the weights are quite high with all of these runners, so maybe that's okay. But I just wouldn't want to see it having to do too much work from a wide gate. We'll come in a couple with a couple of scratchings here, but its form, this preparation's been pretty good. On top of the Masara horse, number 7, Akasawa. Keeps winning, so no reason it won't run well again.
I found the same too. I liked Akasawa's win last time out, actually. So not much to add. Not much to add there at all. The Rosehill Quaddie. Let's see how we go here. Number 2, New Mandate. Number 5, Longvilliers. 9, Alcyone. 10, Bonnie Ezra. 15, Rondino. 17, Pale King. 1, Sunshine Rising. 7, Coal Crusher. 11, Cisco Bay. 12, Jojo Was a Man. We'll skinny up this and go 6, Najmarty. 8, Dragonstone. 10, Foxfighter. And come home with 3, Democracy Manifest. 7, Akazawa. 8, Mensa Missile. 15, Short Shorts. For progretracing.com.au, you've got a best in value at Rosehill.
I do have a best in value, mate. Sorry, I just lost my notes here. My value bet comes up in race 8, number 4, Skyman. And my best bet comes up in race 4, number 10, Floating.
I'm going to make my best Coal Crusher in race 7, was it? Where are we? Just flick to the Gold Coast. Yeah, Coal Crusher, race 8, number 7. And my value, race 5, number 2, Liberty Sun. What have you got in the Gold Coast? Does Driver Deal just win again?
Yeah, I've got a few up on the Gold Coast here, mate. I've got race 3, number 3, Driver Deal. I think it keeps winning and I can't get off now. I've been on it on all of those occasions. I think race 5, number 11, Vaccine. I think it can run well resuming. And then later in the day, race 8, number 2, Holyfield. I think was run last start was very good, can win again. And race 9, number 3, Orbison from the inside draw. I think it breaks back into the winner's circle.
Beautiful. Good job, mate. Good luck tomorrow. Good luck, punters. Check out progretracing.com.au for everything going on there. As I've said, subscribe here. You can find us on Spotify too. All our shows are up there. Under the Show Us Your Tips feed. Take care, and we'll talk very soon. Catch you guys.